In Myanmar, new satellite images appear to confirm continued destruction in the predominantly Rohingya areas of the country's Rakhine state. Human Rights Watch has released evidence showing that 288 villages belonging to the Muslim minority had been burned down. More than 500,000 Rohingya have fled the military crackdown since August. Phil Robertson is the Deputy Asia Director for Human Rights Watch, joining us now live from Bangkok. Many thanks for joining us on the programme, Phil. Tell me, what exactly do these images tell us?
Well, what it shows is that the clearance operation that the government declared over on September 5th, in fact, has continued. We've seen at least 66 villages destroyed after that September 5th date. Including the images you're showing right now, which indicate that nothing is stopped, that the clearance is still going on, the ethnic cleansing is still going on, the crimes against humanity is still going on. The other thing it shows is that Rohingya villages within walking distance of Rakhine villages were destroyed, but the Rakhine villages were not disturbed or impacted in any way, which basically exposes the lie that the government and the Burma army have been spinning out here, that somehow the insurgents or the Rohingya people themselves were destroying their own villages.
Well, this is the point, isn't it? That the government has always denied that the Rohingya are being persecuted. I mean, these images, the fact that they've been released now, is this likely to make any difference in terms of putting pressure on them?
Well, I think it will make an impact, because there's a larger global movement now pushing to sanction Burma, to go after the military with targeted sanctions, not only on the senior commanders, but also some of the military-connected businesses, to try to put on travel restrictions on these military commanders, and also to impose a global arms embargo on Burma. And these are all things, I think, that are in play right now. And the more evidence that is brought out of the military's crimes, I think will increase the pressure.
Let's talk about where the Rohingya are going. They're going to Bangladesh, which seems to be the only country willing to take them in. What is the situation there in terms of them being a host country? What conditions are they facing? Is Bangladesh actually able to host them?
Well, right now, Bangladesh is totally overwhelmed. You've had over 500,000 people come out in the course of a month. This is the kind of refugee flow that you hardly ever see. So many people have come, and there are still many stuck in Burma trying to get to Bangladesh, including some that Bangladesh is stopping from crossing over. So it is going to be a humanitarian disaster, but, in slow motion. What we're seeing is supplies being gotten into these areas, but in many cases, the distribution networks don't exist yet. Many of these camps are so sprawling that, the only way you can get supplies distributed is to give the supplies at the camp entrance, near the road, and hope it gets to the people at the back of the camp. It is literally day by day, and everybody is afraid that there's going to be a major disease outbreak or some other tragedy that is going to cost these refugees their lives.
Phil, briefly, because we're running out of time on this program, what is the solution here? As you say, Bangladesh isn't necessarily able to host these sort of numbers, and perhaps even putting pressure on Myanmar in terms of sanctions. It itself a very poor country. I mean, what is the answer here?
Well, we have to stop the violence against the Rohingya right now, and then we have to get to a point where there's some accountability and there's some ability for these people to go back in safety. I think that the Burma government has set up a series of conditions that is designed to prevent the Rohingya from returning to northern Rakhine state. And as we get further down there, we're going to see more recalcitrance from the Burma side about trying to say that these people are not Burmese and that they should remain out of the country.